Okay, it's time to talk about the third generation Toyota Sequoia and whether or not it is going to be a good choice for an overland vehicle. Tonight I'm filming this video while sitting in our ugly chair from Goodwill that Lakin hates, and I have a laptop in front of me. Not because it actually has any information or is even powered on, I just have it because it makes me look more credible on camera. That is so stupid. Okay, now I'm not going to go over all of the little details that Toyota mentioned in their press release, mainly because it's already been covered by 100 different news outlets. So I figured it would probably be best if we talk about all the details in the press release that are relevant to those of you out there who want to use this vehicle as an overlanding vehicle, those of you who want to use it off-road. Maybe you potentially want to build it out, and also, we're going to answer the question a lot of you guys want to know, and that is this vehicle a viable alternative to the Land Cruiser? And I know that might ruffle some feathers, so we'll try to keep an open mind as we approach that conversation. Anyway, so yeah, we've got the 2023 Toyota Sequoia announced by Toyota, and a lot of the basic information you need to know about this vehicle we actually already have seen in the brand new generation Tundra. The interesting thing about the Sequoia is that it's going to be a hybrid no matter which trim level you purchase. I guess with the Tundra it was kind of optional, but with the new Sequoia it's going to be available, or not just available, it's going to be standard in every single trim level that they offer. And to me that sticks out as a pretty important detail to note. From the perspective of overlanding or long distance travel, that is going to be really, really ideal in my mind. That's going to give you some better efficiency, some better MPGs compared to the outgoing model. And I'm sure it's going to be way, way more efficient than like the first generation Sequoia. So that's really cool. Now we don't know what the fuel tank capacity is going to be. With the new Tundra, I believe it's 32 or 33 gallon tank, so it's a pretty sizable tank. Plus, when you add in those better MPGs you get with it being a hybrid, I'm guessing you're going to have really, really good range, and that is an awesome thing. That's one thing I wish our first gen Sequoia had a little bit better of, is better range. Obviously the MPGs are really, really poor, but when you improve the MPGs and have a big fuel tank, you're going to be able to go for pretty long distances. That's really helpful. Like here in Utah, we have vast tracts of public land out there in the desert and stuff like that, and being able to go long distances without needing to refuel is obviously a huge benefit. Okay, now other things to talk about are going to be the trim levels. So they offer a lot of the same trim levels they've had before, like the SR5 Limited, the TRD Pro. But what I think is really cool is that, if I understand this correctly, the TRD off-road package is going to be a package that you can, add onto some of the base level trims. So like the SR5, if I understand this correctly, you can get the TRD off-road package on that, and that's going to give you all the fun goodies that we've seen on TRD models from Toyota recently. So like multi-terrain select, crawl control, downhill assist, fancy A-track options, and most importantly in my mind, a locking rear diff. So that's going to be pretty cool. And the fact that you can get that on the SR5 is going to be really special in my mind, because if I was going to purchase one of these, I would want to get that base model, SR5, to keep the cost real low, but I also want to make sure I'm getting all those off-road features. So it's nice that you can get that without stepping into the TRD Pro, because obviously the TRD Pro is going to be a lot more expensive, and a lot of people who want to modify these vehicles don't want to spend the extra cash for the TRD Pro, because you're getting, like shock absorbers and things like that are really unique to it and are frankly pretty expensive, and if you don't use them, it's kind of just a wasted expense. And of course, that locking rear diff is a huge distinguishing factor for this generation of the Sequoia. We've never had that before, not in the first or second generation Sequoia. This is the first time in any Sequoia that a locking rear diff is available, which is really, really awesome. In fact, when you think about it, the idea of getting a body-on-frame SUV from Toyota that shares the same body architecture as the Tundra and the Land Cruiser, and being able to have a low-range gearing, four-wheel drive, a locking diff, A-track, and all of the other fancy off-road goodies that Toyota is known for nowadays. This is really quite special to have this in a full-size vehicle. And I do want to go ahead and clarify that I've confirmed this with several sources, and despite what some people have been saying, this 2023 third-gen Sequoia does have a solid rear axle again. I know this was a shock to me. I was not expecting this to be the case. So the second generation Sequoia did away with the solid axle. It was independent suspension front and rear. And now they've actually gone back to this. This is really interesting because a lot of people would think this is kind of backwards because independent suspension is kind of considered like newer technology. So it's weird for them to kind of go backwards on something they've done. But us off-road, interested people are thrilled with this. This is great because this is going to give you way better articulation off-road. I absolutely adore the fact that our first gen Sequoia has a solid axle. It means that we were able to just purchase some really inexpensive long shock absorbers, remove our sway bar, and we get, articulation that's really quite amazing, especially at such a low price. And this is just something you can't really do when you have independent suspension. Sure, independent suspension is nice, it's comfortable, but this, for I think most people out there who are wanting to do the overland and off-road type thing, this is going to be a huge benefit. Also, I would imagine that this is going to be the same exact axle and diff configuration that the 300 series Land Cruiser is getting overseas. So I'm guessing this is going to be a almost bulletproof, axle drivetrain setup, which is really great. One of the other things that people might mention about independent suspension is it's not quite as rugged. I can't imagine that you're going to find a more rugged suspension setup on a consumer grade vehicle than this in 2023. Another quick thing I want to touch on is going to be the styling of this vehicle. Obviously, like the higher end, trims like the Capstone, they're, I guess, a little bit blingy for my taste. But this TRD Pro that they have pictures of, I mean, come on, it looks awesome. It is a really handsome vehicle with really good proportions. Like, I know some people didn't love the way the new Tundra looks, but this shares resemblance, but is also a little bit more proportional in my mind. I'm a big fan of the way it looks. Now, to answer the question that a lot of you guys maybe want to hear an opinion about, and that is this going to be the replacement for the Land Cruiser in the United States? And I think it has to be. I mean, we're talking about the same drivetrain, same engine, transmission, same body architecture, same suspension setup. The only thing in my mind that I see this being significantly different than the 300 series Land Cruiser is just the actual body shape. But at the end of the day, the architecture between the Land Cruiser and the Sequoia has never been more similar than it will be in 2023. So, even back when we had the 100 series Land Cruiser and the first gen Sequoia, even then they weren't this similar. This is absolutely going to be the closest thing that you can get to a Land Cruiser in the United States next year, and I really personally don't think that you're going to be missing out on really anything if you wanted a Land Cruiser but choose to get this Sequoia instead. Yes, I know the Land Cruiser is obviously really rich in its heritage, and there's something really special about having that Land Cruiser badge on a vehicle. And historically, it's just such an impactful vehicle in the off-road and overland community. And obviously this Sequoia doesn't have that split tailgate style hatch that a lot of people love on the Land Cruiser. But I think if you can get past those two things, this Sequoia if you get it with the off-road TRD package, I think it's going to be all of the vehicle you're ever going to want. And frankly, I think the new Sequoia is going to be an absolute winner, both in terms of how well it'll sell just amongst people who are wanting to use it as a family vehicle, but also those of you who want to use it for, off-road and long distance overland travel. I think it's gonna really fit the bill for a lot of people. And in fact, I very much would like to have one. But one thing we don't know much about right now is going to be the pricing. And of course, if you look at the second generation, the outgoing model's pricing, I'm guessing that this is going to be every bit as expensive, if not probably quite a bit more. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 5% increase in price to go from the second to the third gen. So I'm guessing even if you got a pretty basic SR5 with the off-road package, I bet you'd still be looking at $60,000. That's just my guess, I don't know. So it will not be cheap, and personally, I do not like to have a car payment. So for now, we're gonna stick with our first generation Sequoia. Make sure that you subscribe because we take it on trips all the time. I hope that this video was interesting, and I'd love to hear your opinion. I know there's probably gonna be some diehard Land Cruiser fans out there that are gonna say, no, this will never be a Land Cruiser, but let's have a civil discussion, just let us know your thoughts, but let's keep it all friendly. But with that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.